What's going on, y'all? Happy Columbus Day. In the left's continuing effort to rewrite history, and by rewrite, I mean erase all the good that white people have done, Christopher Columbus has been on the chopping block for a while now. But as usual, the left gets the history completely wrong, intentionally, I believe, in order to advance their objective. What is their objective? To replace Columbus Day with Indigenous Peoples Day is one. I think that's the immediate term objective. But long term is to pretty much marginalize, if not completely erase, white people. Now, don't get it twisted. I I am all for recognizing Indigenous people. I'm not against that at all. I'm just not for it at the expense of Christopher Columbus. And if we're going to recognize the Native Americans, the indigenous people, then we need to recognize that they were not perfect. They went to war with each other continuously. They enslaved each other. They conquered each other's land. And all that happened long before Christopher Columbus ever came on the scene. And they claim that Columbus was not someone to be remembered with honor because he was a gold-seeking bandit whose only objective was to plunder the New World. And he committed genocide against the native people when he landed in the Caribbean. Not true. None of that is true. They either fail to realize, and more likely the people who are advancing this are intentionally ignoring and memory holding the fact that his motivation for sailing to the New World was to ally himself, or his motivation for sailing, he ended up landing in the New World, but his motivation for sailing was to ally himself with the Great Khan and get enough gold to support retaking Jerusalem. He was a Catholic. He wanted to evangelize to everybody. He had no intention. He had absolutely no intention of conquering land or enslaving people. In fact, when one of his ships ran aground on his first voyage, I believe it was the Santa Maria. When that ship ran aground, he left 40, I believe it was around 40 men, and told them in no uncertain terms, trade for gold and food, do not pillage, and do not kidnap and rape women. And I know that sounds ridiculous in this day and age, but the mindset today is completely different than it was 500 years ago. You cannot apply today's standards to what was going on in 1492. We shouldn't have to say that, but here we are. When he returned, he found that the natives had killed all of his men because they didn't listen. They didn't follow his orders, and they paid the price. Now, if conquering people and enslaving people was his goal, when they killed all of his men, why didn't he go on a rampage of revenge? The priest that was with him on this voyage encouraged him to do exactly that, but he said no. Again, if enslaving people and conquering people was the goal, they gave him the perfect excuse, regardless of what his men did to prompt their response in that way. That was the perfect excuse, and he chose not to do that. Now, yes, he did enslave some people on subsequent voyages, but those natives resisted Christianity, refused to get baptized, and so those were the people that he did enslave. But that was, again, not his goal. And Columbus himself never owned slaves. And again, if conquering people was the goal, why did he punish his own men for mistreating mistreating the natives. Columbus himself never owned slaves, but the left has decided that he is to blame for everything that went wrong in the Americas since his arrival. Now, I don't claim to be a scholar on Christopher Columbus, but I have read enough from both perspectives. I've read authors who have defended Christopher Columbus and authors who have demonized Christopher Columbus. Here's a good rule of thumb, though. Whatever the left wants to cancel, whoever the left wants to cancel, there is almost a near certainty that whatever it is they want to cancel, or whoever, was a good thing or did a good thing. So, like I said, I don't claim to be a Columbus scholar. So, as you enjoy your day off, if you got a day off for Columbus Day, take some time to do your own research. Do your own research. I think you will find, especially if you look at everything, look at the people who are demonizing him, consider that source, and then look at the people who are championing Christopher Columbus and consider that source. And I think you will find that I am right. The story is more nuanced than they love that word, nuanced, but I think it fits in this case. But I think you will find that I am right, and Columbus is worthy of the honors that he enjoyed up until about 5 minutes ago, when the left decided that they wanted to cancel history. Anyway, happy Columbus Day, folks. It has never been more crucial that you keep your head on a swivel to keep you, your family, and your loved ones safe. Do that, and we'll see you next time right here on the Liberty Cast.